So the big tax question is this: how do wealthy people keep their money working for them when selling their business, real estate, or other highly appreciated assets without paying hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars in tax? What if we, as business and real estate owners who have poured blood, sweat, and tears to growing our wealth, and who didn't hire expensive tax attorneys and CPAs to map out an exit strategy, knew their secrets? Instead of recreating the wheel, why can't we just model the way they deferred 30 to 50% in tax, paid off debt, funded their next business dream, and most importantly, leave a financial legacy to give to the causes we believe in most? What if their secrets weren't complicated at all, and you just need a guide who is a few steps ahead of you? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brett Swarts, and welcome to Capital Gains Tax Solutions. Hi, I'm Brett Swarts, founder of Capital Gains Tax Solutions and also founder of the Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, which you're listening to right now. Hey, I'm so excited to launch this. This has been a journey over 13 years of my career, 10 years of studying different capital gains tax deferral strategies, and over a year of work to get to this point. And I'm so excited for you, the listeners, to join me on my journey as we interview some of the best and the brightest in the financial industry, and also those who are giving back, using the wealth they've been given to give back in ways that help those most in need. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my origin story and kind of give you a little bit of the background, just to kind of give you a chance to get to know me as well as understand kind of the why behind what we're doing here at Capital Gains Tax Solutions and on this podcast. So it starts back in 2006 and 2009, kind of that period of time. I had just graduated college. I was newly married, had a baby girl, and I was working at a company called Marcus & Millichap. And like any young kind of entrepreneur or businessman, I was looking for success, right? I was looking to be able to support my family. I was looking for an opportunity to live out my passion, which was helping others, which was, making a bunch of money in investment real estate and kind of living a life of margin financially. Growing up, when I was real young, my parents were divorced, and my mom didn't have a lot of money, and she was kind of basically a single mom. We were with my mom 90% of the time, and she was a single mom, and we didn't have a lot. So we were very, very low income, and we had to kind of scrape by, but we always had enough, and she was always sacrificial and giving. But I knew at a young age that I never wanted my family to feel any of that, uncertainty or lack of security financially. So I really was driven to succeed financially. And so I was excited. I just graduated, back to the story here. In 2007, things were going pretty good. And then all of a sudden, the 2008 crash hit. And that was kind of the big wall moment in my life, where I hit this brick wall when I was just getting going, just getting some success in commercial real estate, and it kind of put me flat on my back in a way. And I did what every good entrepreneur does, or business person who has a dream. I sought out to make it work. And what does that mean? That means double down my efforts. And so by day, I was working about 8 hours to 9 hours every day at a company called Marcus & Millichap, making calls. And for those who don't know, it's a commercial real estate firm, and essentially you're 100% commission. So you are your own business owner in a sense, and no salary, no commission, nothing. And at the time, my wife's at home, and I just want to be the father who could provide for the family and for my wife and for my daughter. And so, but it wasn't happening because part of it was I was still young in my career, but also the 2008 crash really hit a lot of brokers very hard. And so I did what, again, every good entrepreneur does. They figure out a way to try to make it work. And so what did I do? I went and applied for jobs, side jobs. And so nights and weekends, in particular at restaurants. And so I was able to land a serving job at Cheesecake Factory, which happened to be my wife and I's favorite restaurant. And I said, and then he looked at me and he said, "Hey, you have 2 degrees and a minor. You're working in commercial real estate. In a lot of ways, you're overqualified." He said, "So I don't want you to come on just for a few months and then close a deal and you leave." He goes, "If I'm going to bring you on and train you and invest in you, you're going to need to, commit to 2 years." And I say, "Look, I got a wife at home. I have a dream of becoming successful in real estate, and I want to keep that going. So I will commit to 2 years. No matter what happens, I'll commit to 2 years. So that began the journey of, by day I'm making cold calls, trying to sell real estate. And by night I'm driving over, and on weekends working at the Cheesecake Factory. And it was a great journey. It was a humbling experience, and also an opportunity for me to see how much I wanted to succeed in the business, and really clarified what my love and passion was, which was commercial real estate and helping people solve challenges and sell their real estate. So, and just along that time as well, my manager at Marcus & Millichap brought in a gentleman, and this gentleman, he's now my business partner now, and he spoke on a strategy called a deferred sales trust. And that was one of those moments where it's like an epiphany moment. Like all of a sudden my brain opened up in a whole new way, and it was enlightened that, oh my goodness, there's another way to defer capital gains taxes, and it's not just the 1031 exchange. And in fact, not only that, but it could have helped those who were hurt most during the '08 crisis, which at least for the clients that I was serving, were those who had overpaid for properties in the short 180-day period for the 1031 and had taken on too much debt. And so as I'm sitting there, and my mind is really racing, going, wow, here's an opportunity to help people who didn't know about this before, and who could have avoided the losing everything. So I saw friends and family and clients lose everything in the 2008 to 2010 arena when the market crashed. And now they had another opportunity where they didn't have to do it, and they could escape the debt. They could escape the toilets, trash, and liability, and they could be free from capital gains tax. And that really solved, I think, two things for them, not only externally, which was the finances, but also internally. A lot of clients wanted to be retired from the toilets, to trash, to liability, and they wanted to be able to spend more time and energy with their family, more time and energy pursuing their hobbies or different gifts or businesses they've always wanted to start. But they're so tied up into the real estate and chasing the next deal that they didn't have that freedom from capital gains taxes. So at that point, the plan was this: look, I'm going to spread the message. I'm going to talk to my clients about it. I'm going to spread the message. But the market was still low at that point. So we're at about 2011 range, and the market is still very, very depressed. So most people are just buying discounted real estate or just clawing their way out. So they didn't have a lot of equity. And so there wasn't a lot of room for tax deferral per se. And fast forward, we're now here in 2020, and it's April 1st as I'm recording this. And now we're in the Corona crisis, and it's kind of like deja vu, where people are getting hurt again and might lose a lot if they have too much debt. And so my goal and my vision for this podcast is to make complex tax deferral strategies simple. And it's kind of what I've been doing for the last 10 years now, and want you to be able to clarify your wealth plan. And what does that look like? That might look like more time, more energy, more diversification, more liquidity to enjoy your wealth, less toilets, less trash, less liability. Everyone's a little bit different, but every tax deferral strategy is a little bit different too. So I still help people do 1031 exchanges. I'm a commercial real estate broker by trade, and I still have a company that does that as well. And we help syndicate deals and raise money for deals as well. So I love investment real estate, but I love more than all of that is clarifying and helping clients, friends, partners, family create a wealth plan that fits their needs, and it fits their wants and their desires and their risk tolerance as well. And so after all of that, I was able to succeed in real estate, take this plan, expand my real estate business, and really be able to support my family at home. My wife and I now, we have 5 kids. Her passion is homeschooling, and so she is focused on that. And I'm able to support for my family. So, really feel like, in a sense, succeeding as a father and a husband, to be able to give my wife the option to stay home full time, which she does, and also succeed in business. So that's kind of the full circle of the origin story for me. And I hope you join me on this journey, and I hope you gain a lot of inspiration from the guests that I bring on. Part of it is bringing on guests and having them talk about their different strategies, like the charitable remainder trust, or the Delaware statutory trust, or the 1031 exchange, or you may have, just a traditional seller carry back, cost segregation specialist. So we're going to really, everything that has to do with kind of like capital gains tax deferral or ways to kind of reduce taxes. This will be the go-to podcast for you. Maybe you are a business broker, a realtor, a financial advisor, and you help high net worth individuals defer capital gains taxes, or help them sell or or manage their money. Well, now you can use this podcast as a way to help them clarify their plan, right? And so that is my hope. And that is my vision. And we really believe that not having a plan is the enemy, and using a proven tax deferral strategy, such as the deferred sales trust or the other ones that I mentioned before, is the best way for you to grow your wealth. But more than just grow your wealth, our other passion is be able to give back. Okay. So what do we mean by that? Well, according to the American Bankers Association, there's about $17 trillion, 17 to 20 trillion. It's going to pass from one generation to the next in the next 20 years. And this is known as the largest wealth transfer in the history of the world. And you're going to hear me use this stat over and over again during these talks, because I think it's so daunting to think about. In fact, there's about 10,000 baby boomers in the U.S. alone that are turning 65, and about 77 million in the U.S. alone. So you have this huge wealth transfer, and there's also a huge opportunity to either defer tax as they sell out of the toilets, trash, liability businesses and defer it and have more wealth. Or it's an opportunity where they sell and they pay the tax and there's less wealth for families, for friends and clients. But if they can have more wealth, it leads to a couple things. One, they can support their families and have a better legacy there. But two, they can support those most in need. So they can give to charity if they want to. And they can support those who need it the most. And so another stat that I think you'll find really interesting that will really kind of be a theme during the conversations that you'll hear ahead is a stat that according to the American Bankers Association, about 50% of America's net worth is tied to high-end primary homes, commercial real estate, and private equity, which is also known as businesses. So that's 50% of America's net worth. The other 50% is tied to retirement plans, 401ks, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, securities known as liquid assets, okay? And so on one side is illiquid assets, right? Things you can't readily get the money right away. You have to sell the piece of real estate or sell the business. Could take a few months to do. The other side is liquid assets, meaning you can essentially cash out of them quickly and get the cash right away. So that 50% that's illiquid, are a lot of the baby boomers own that, okay? And they have the toilets, the trash, the liability, and they're getting older and they want to retire from all of that. And so how do we take the illiquidity and the sale, move it to liquid, okay? And then how do we then allow them the opportunity to give more or just have a passive income stream? So that's kind of the overall vision for the podcast. I think you're going to love it because we're going to bring on some of the best financial independence and passive income wealth advisors in the world. And this, again, includes financial advisors. This includes attorneys. This includes CPAs. And they're going to share their deal stories. They're going to share their ideas and their inspiration. So together we can make complex tax deferrals simple and passive income plans achievable. We're also going to bring on folks who are in marketing, who are entrepreneurs, who are cutting edge with growing businesses. And you're going to talk about strategies to do that, because part of not only selling something and having capital gains tax, you also going to want to know how do you position it or how do you build the business in a way that actually has a capital gains tax event. So even if you're listening to this and you're still just either a younger business owner or you haven't fully matured, the business hasn't fully matured per se for sale, you're still going to want to listen because you want to prepare for not only the exit, but also we're going to give you practical advice. For example, we have a gentleman named Seth Green, and he is a sharkpreneur. Kevin Harrington, he's on Shark Tank. He's going to be on the show, and he's going to talk about marketing strategies and ways to grow your business. We have Hunter Thompson, who's a fantastic commercial real estate operator and expert. He's going to talk about different ways to grow wealth with real estate. We also have some leadership folks that are coming on as well that I think you're going to find some inspiration from. So all that being said, I invite you to subscribe, to rate, review, and share this with somebody who you think can really help make a difference in tax deferral, wealth building, but also the ability to unlock capital so that you can give more to causes that mean the most to you or to them. So with that, we look forward to for you to be on the first episode with us. And thanks so much for hearing my story. And I can't wait to share this journey along with you.
You have just listened to another information-packed episode of Capital Gains Tax Solutions with Brett Swarts. We hope you enjoyed today's show and found it helpful. Visit capitalgainstaxsolutions.com to access the show notes and to access more resources. Don't forget to leave a review and join us again next time.